Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Axia by Qcells live stream. My name is Jensen Chapman from Axia by Qcells, and I'm excited today to present our now third live stream. So, if you're just joining for the first time or perhaps been here before, thank you for being here. I really look forward to hopefully answering some questions you may have. And today we're going to be having a great topic on making sense of solar. This is one of the best parts about talking about solar for homes is some of the financial incentives, the ROI, and a number of things. So I'm going to give us probably one more minute as we have other followers and viewers joining on. But I'm glad you're here. So let me just kind of maybe set some housekeeping for those that are joining our call today. We're here live every week. Again, my name is Jensen. And really, our goal today and every week is to provide homeowners comprehensive information about the consideration of going solar. Is our goal is to really meet with homeowners when, where, and how they want. So if you're again logging in on the first time or for the first time or perhaps been here before, we encourage you to participate in this live stream. If you're joining on YouTube Live, you have the option to actually type a question or comment you may have in the chat. I can then answer those questions live, and I'll take some time during this 1 hour to do so. I will go ahead and somewhat kick it off because I want to share my screen to give everyone an opportunity to understand how they can get more information and quickly. So again, I'm on a live stream today. It is Tuesday at 2 p.m. Pacific. And if you're joining today inquiring about solar for your home, you could have clicked on our website at axiasolarusa.com or joined YouTube Live. But either way, we've got a number of ways that we can get in contact with you, whether you click on Get an Estimate, Get Started. You can talk with a solar expert from our website, or if you're on YouTube Live, you can actually just drop a question in the chat, and we'd really love an opportunity to answer that question and then hopefully schedule a time to meet with you. If you are on YouTube and want to sort of streamline this process, you can actually jump over to our website. The same live stream is happening. There you'll have the same options to submit your information or talk with someone, a solar expert. That way we can get you information quickly. And in fact, we even put a calendar link at the very bottom where you can streamline this whole process and click on your own date and time and schedule your own free virtual consultation with one of our energy consultants. So again, we're glad you're here. Thanks for stopping by. I've got some exciting things to talk about today, and if you're in the process of considering solar for your home, it would be an honor for me just to go over how solar does make sense and talk again about some of the financial incentives and payback period or return on investment, which a lot of Americans are interested in, especially in this day and age. So let me kind of go over what we're going to be talking about today. For starters, if you're new or maybe just joined, I always love to tell the story of who we are at Axia by Qcells. Then I'll get into more of the nuts and bolts of the return on investment and payback period. I'll then go over how we estimate savings on your electric bill, because that's what this is really about. Federal and state incentives, and go over those programs, and then a little more about our products and services here at Axia by Qcells. So thanks for being here. Let me go ahead and get us started. Now, the word axia, the Greek meaning for, is for value, price, or worth. You see, Axia by Qcells is actually a direct-to-consumer arm of Qcells, the manufacturer. We started this company just over a year ago, and in fact relaunched this now platform on June 1st. And now we're excited to be really one of the only solar companies that goes direct-to-consumer from factory to rooftop. So this is really a big differentiator for us in the industry. As you see, most solar companies, if not all other solar companies, are middlemen of some sort, where they may be the contractor, they may be the advertiser, the financier, the broker. It's really hard to tell. All in all, they're using separate companies, separate products, putting together a system with several pass-through warranties. So really the power of one, as we say, is that if there was ever an issue with the equipment, the sales process, financing or other, it's one company or one number to call. And that's really, again, what sets us apart here at Axia by Qcells. Now, if you're new to the solar industry or perhaps just checking out solar for the first time, we do encourage you to shop around a bit. There's a lot of great companies out there that are helping, electrify our world or, providing clean energy solutions. But we're truly on a path here and strive for a greener tomorrow and to provide complete energy solutions for our customers. And again, I think what stands out is the fact that it's the power of one, right? From manufacturing, sales, financing, install, it's all one company. And, if you ever had an experience with perhaps a product or even a large construction project, you've got several moving parts and several, companies involved. And if there's ever a problem, you may get passed around or fingers pointed, and we've really eliminated all of that. So always a pleasure to start with talking about who we are, what we do, and how our goal is really to provide a world-class customer experience. So whether you're a customer just following today, thank you for your business. Thank you for choosing Axia by Qcells. Or if you're considering, we would be honored to talk with you. We provide transparent pricing, straightforward information. It's a no-pressure sales consultation if you're interested in that. Either way, we want to meet with homeowners when, where, and how they want. So again, thanks for being here. I want to talk now about Qcells, the manufacturer. We've actually made the news recently. In fact, I'll try to get out of the way. This year, Qcells invested over $2.5 billion in building a complete solar manufacturing plant in Dalton, Georgia. I believe that's just south of Atlanta. Yeah. So not only is this a U.S. company that is manufacturing here on U.S. soil, but we're also creating jobs here in the United States. And whether you're a climate change believer, you're into clean energy or not, I think all Americans can agree that creating jobs in U.S. manufacturing is super important right now. So I'm really honored to be a part of a company that's doing that, leading from the front, and really, building the largest and most sustainable solar manufacturing plant in the United States and in the history of such. So check out some news feeds on that. We're really proud, and we're growing this thing, and it's going to be big. And I mean really big. And in fact, all of our assembly is currently here in the U.S., so we really take a lot of pride. That avoids supply chain issues and a number of things that affects the solar industry. Let me just give everyone a reminder now that we're just a few minutes into the call of how you can get this information. We're so happy you're here. My name is Jensen Chapman, Sales Director here at Axia by Qcells. If you are inquiring about solar for your home in the state of Texas or California, We have energy consultants on standby and would be honored to meet with you to discuss what's available to you. There's a number of ways you can do it. If you're joining on YouTube Live, you can pretty much just drop a question in the chat and I can answer that live for you. I'm waiting for some to come in. Or you can jump over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. There we have a few orange buttons to choose from, whether it be get started, request a quote, or even talk with a solar expert. And if you're looking to streamline that process or go ahead and schedule your own appointment, there's a calendar link that should be just below me on the website, and you can actually select a date and time, and that will be scheduled at your convenience. And we'd be honored again to meet with you and answer any and all of the questions that you have. So again, thanks for being here. Before I get into our main topic today, just want to take a second to say hello again to everyone here. My name again is Jensen. This is actually my 13th year working in solar, and I'm really excited to be able to talk to people on a larger scale, as I've had the pleasure of meeting with thousands of homeowners throughout our states, and I've found that the one common thing that is just the most magical thing really about helping people go solar is not just the financial rewards, but the impact it makes on the environment. You see, now more than ever, we need to be more responsible when it comes to the energy that we consume, the energy we buy. And I know all of you out there get an electric bill of some sort, whether you're a homeowner or renter or other. We all have to face an electric bill every month. So it's really a pleasure for me to meet with homeowners, connect with them, understand how they approach or how they think about their energy and cost. And then once homeowners decide to make the switch, they don't know what they don't know until it happens. And one of the most favorite things that's hard to describe or even really get excited about until you felt it is the feeling that our customers have once they have their system installed and they're producing their own clean energy. It's really something. I was relating this to raising some children in my age, and I remember trying to push my kids to clean up their room. And why? Well, a clean room is important. I don't want ants in the room or, anything like that. I want them to also feel better about themselves, being organized and clean, right? But what do teenagers, want to do? They want to rebel against anything that you ask them to do. But once they start cleaning that room and they catch that momentum of cleaning their room, it starts to feel good. I think we can all relate to that. Whether you have to pick up your house for guests coming over, cleaning up your kitchen for a meal you're going to cook, nobody wants to do the work. But once you start doing it, it starts to catch on, and then you want to do more work. And then when it's all said and done, there's a feeling that comes over you that wasn't even your motivation in the first place. A feeling of perhaps accomplishment, or that your room or your kitchen smells great. You wake up in a better mood. You have a better day. That's kind of my point when I'm talking to homeowners about the benefits of solar. It's more than clean energy. It's more than cost savings. It's a feeling that's really hard to describe until you've been there. So if you're just trying to figure out how this all works, it's really, really simple, and I'll make sure I go over that today. But again, what you don't know until you know is the great feeling you'll have. And we've got lots of positive reviews out there about Axia by Qcells, and really take the customer-centric approach. So I hope that lands or resonates with you on the call. Just thought I'd take a minute and get real with you. All right, so far I've shared who is Axia by Qcells. Now we're going to get into the nuts and bolts, the return on investment and payback period. I'll then be going over, how we estimate savings on your electric bills, talk about some of the federal and state incentives, and then of course Axia's own products and services. So again, thanks for being here. Let's see. Let's start with the cost of doing nothing. Yeah. If you're an electricity ratepayer, you are paying for your electric bill on a monthly basis. And if you don't pay your electric bill, well, you go without power. At least eventually they will shut you off. We all need energy for our bodies. We need it for our homes. What I just think is rather unfair, and I'm sure anyone that's on this call would agree, is the cost we have to pay. So if you think about what you're paying each month on electricity cost, and historical data has proven that energy rates go up year after year after year, a bill that was once $150 a month within 20 or 30 years could be more than twice that, and really with the same amount of electricity that you're using. So this is why more and more people are adopting solar for their home. It's really to get off this path where they get no return on that money they're spending each month. And it's a bill that comes month after month. You can count on that. And it's also a bill that escalates each year. So I want to go into the three more dominant financial products that you can go solar, or how to invest in solar. And we'll start with flat out cash purchase. And I hope this chart on the screen kind of helps visualize this or illustrate this for you. Solar is a large investment, that we'll admit. So let's imagine you invested, say, $20,000 in your system cost. This is before any incentives, of course, or maybe even could be after. Well, you're then going to calculate how much energy you're producing or how much energy cost you're avoiding each month or year. And you can actually calculate that until the savings each year has now paid you back for your solar investment. So in this model, and it's pretty typical nowadays in both California and Texas, if you were to put your money where your roof is and invest in a complete solar energy system, the average return on investment or payback period is anywhere between 9 and 11 years. So, some may say, well, that's a long time. Well, how long do you plan on living in your home? How long do you plan on paying your energy bill, right? You may not lived in your home forever, but you're going to pay for energy forever. And even if you were to move, say, before such a gracious payback period, that's still value added to your home, where any new buyer could walk into your home with, say, an owned outright system and really get the benefits of, not having an energy cost. And if you compared that to, say, any homes without solar on the roof, well, which do you think is going to sell faster? The home that costs more to do business in, or the home that costs less? I think that's pretty simple. So the ROI on a cash purchase on average in California and Texas is usually between 9 and 11 years. And that's, assuming that you've invested in an energy storage system, or, your power needs have stayed the same for the most part as when you begun. More on that in a minute. Now, another great way that we offer our customers the ability to go solar is our zero down solar loan. Yeah, for zero down, we give our customers the ability to redirect money that they're already spending each month on electricity bills. That's like money out the window. But now towards their own fixed cost solar investment. And the best part about it, it costs you nothing up front. Again, it's a redirection of money that you're already spending anyway, but now towards a fixed cost solar investment that not only is going to hedge against the future cost of electricity, but it's also going to build equity with every monthly payment that you make. Now, this model here, or this graph next to me, is a 25-year term. So if you look at the cost for electricity each year today versus what it looks like in, say, 30 years from now, on a 20-year loan, you're going to save a ton of money as you go, or perhaps even see a return on investment in the very first month or year. Now again, all homes vary based on roof space, the amount of sunlight, how many panels they invest in. But all in all, you can be pretty certain of a fixed cost energy line. I mean, imagine locking in the price of gasoline just 10 or even 20 years ago. Imagine the money you'd be saving right now at the gas pump, maybe paying $2 or $2.50 per gallon. Right? And you would have to keep that a secret, right? If you had that secret gas card. Well, with solar, it pretty much works the same. It's the same price you're paying today, but with equity on each monthly payment. And that's probably the simplest way. I can explain a solar loan. There is a lot of flexibility with such a product. Again, it's a zero down program. There's no prepayment penalty, so you can pay it off whenever you want and increase your savings. It's also transferable to any new homeowner if you went to sell the home, but it's certainly a value add to your property, and it also should qualify the homeowner for any applicable tax credit, which I'll be talking more about in a few minutes. We actually offer a special program here at Axia by Qcells to go solar for zero down for as low as $60 per month. Yeah, that's like $2 a day. That's certainly less than what we pay at Starbucks each day or other, right? So you may not need a system that offsets 100% of your needs. If you're looking for what I would call kind of like a starter system, or really just want to feel good about having solar, we have this special offer for credit approvals or credit approved applicants. For as low as $60 a month, you can go solar, which again, boils down to about $2 a day. If you'd like to learn more about that, drop a question in the chat or go ahead and jump over to our website and we'll be happy to show you how that works. The last product I'll discuss today is a power purchase agreement, rather prepaid. This is a unique or an exclusive product that we're offering here at Axia by Qcells, which probably looks similar to what I showed earlier or models more of a cash investment. So imagine this. You spent $25,000 on a solar electrical system, and the payback period is, 10 years at that point. That's great, because every year after that, you're going to be generating dollar bills from sunlight, right? You've already recovered your investment. Now you're just in pure savings mode. And that money could fund colleges, a new car, vacations, a number of things that just paying your electric bill never could, right? Well, what we offer I should finish this thought. What you could face down the road in as many as 15 or 20 years is some of the equipment may need to be replaced. Now, the solar panels themselves have about a 30 to 40 year useful life, but if you invested in an energy storage system or a home battery, that's probably going to need to be replaced within 20 years and would be beyond the 10-year warranted period. And very much the same thing could be around the inverter system that converts your DC to AC, if you remember the basics of solar from a few weeks ago. That would also need replacement. So at Axia, we're a company that thought of everything in advance. With now over 2 decades of experience from Qcells, we've learned about all the nuances with solar, what customers' questions are, what's most important to them, what costs do they face down the road. So what we created is what we call a prepaid power purchase agreement. Think of us as becoming your new electric company. You're going to pay for this system in a way up front, but with a pretty hefty 30% discount. That's assuming the tax credit, if you're savvy to that. And that's going to be taken on by us so that we can offer you a much lower upfront cost and with a similar payback period. But here's what's so special about it. That inverter and that battery, which inevitably will need to be replaced, as explained earlier, that would be completely replaced free of charge by us. This would be a 25-year service agreement, giving homeowners pretty much the same benefits of owning the system outright, but with now a better service agreement and an absolute production guarantee. That right there offers our customers more peace of mind. A lot don't know how long they're going to live in the home. They don't know how long that equipment could last. We've thought of everything. So if you're really interested in really just putting your money where your roof is, I would highly recommend talking with one of our energy consultants and learn more about our very exclusive prepaid power purchase agreement. So you can actually hedge against the future cost of electricity, build value in your home, and really feel good about producing clean energy. So I hope all those products make sense. Now, I put on the screen here a few ways to compare the different financial products. Today we went over cash, we went over loan, and we went over our prepaid power purchase agreement. In the future, we should have a monthly power purchase agreement just the same. And that's more for the homeowners that may not have the capital to invest up front or money set aside. But right now, the zero down loan is a great program, all of which include our industry-leading 25-year warranties. The system ownership kind of varies depending on how you slice it, but the warranties are quite comparable. But again, I think the benefit to the prepaid power purchase agreement is the fact that you get full coverage on this system for 25 years, and that includes inverter and battery replacement that don't necessarily have the same 25-year useful life. Also, there's another important factor about making sense of solar, and that's the environmental impact. I swear, people want to be green as long as they can save green. Or maybe they want to save green and then realize they can be green at the same time. Now more than ever, it is important that we are responsible when it comes to our energy. So what I've put on the screen here is just an example of one home's responsible choice of investing in solar. And over the next, say, 20 to 30 years, this one home is going to offset much of their own carbon footprint, which is the equivalent of planting 1,489 trees. That's like not burning over 130 barrels of oil, or the equivalency of 48 acres of mature forest trees planted. That's a pretty significant payback period, if you ask me. It may not fall in the line of cost savings, but I can tell you that you can measure the cost of going solar today. You just can't measure the cost of doing nothing. I'll circle back on these topics a little bit later in the hour. Hey, if you just joined us, we'd love a chance to meet with you personally or maybe just answer a question or two. I'm Jensen Chapman, Sales Director here at Axia by Qcells. I'm here on this live stream today just giving homeowners the ability to learn more, ask more, and hopefully meet with us when, where, and how they want. But if you're joining on YouTube Live, you can, again, drop a question in the chat, or you can jump over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. There we have the same live stream going. You'll have a few orange buttons to choose from, whether it be get started, request a quote, talk with a solar expert. Either way, we're here and excited to talk with you. And again, we want to meet with homeowners when, where, and how they want, as opposed to making you go through all these steps or all these hoops just to get an accurate price or learn about how this works. There's a phone number also on the screen if that's easier for you. But all in all, we've got a lot of options for you. We're happy you're here. And all we ask in return is that if you like or learned a lot from what you saw today, tell somebody about it, would you? We have a handsome referral program. You don't even have to be an Axia by Qcells customer to be an ambassador for us. Either way, we're promoting our products and services in a more friendly and streamlined way. And we want to make sure this information gets out to the public. And we just ask that you help share the word if you like what you hear today. All right. The next topic I'm going to be going over today is estimating your savings on electricity bills. Now, before I dive into this, there's a number of ways that homeowners can at least make quite good attempts to save money on their electric bill or be more energy efficient. And I'm talking even before you invest in solar or a battery for your home. If you're a homeowner and you have an older home or you just moved in and learning as you go, what's probably important to start with is making sure your windows are energy efficient, your appliances, your lighting. You can do a number of things on your own to make your home more energy efficient. Solar is just a great way to conserve energy by producing energy from the sun. But ultimately, you want to approach this as a small construction project and do any and all that you can before you invest in solar to make your home as energy efficient as possible. Then you can invest in the right system size for your energy needs of today and tomorrow. A lot of these paybacks or solar making sense topics are going to have everything to do with some of the incentives that are available to homeowners here in the country. And I'll be going over that next. And then lastly, I'll do a nice overview of Axia by Qcells products and services. So by the time you leave this live stream, you'll be well informed and hopefully excited to consider making the switch. And you'll be telling your friends and family all about it. So let's talk about, again, the cost of electricity. We've done some studies here at Qcells, and we've learned that over the last 5 years, the rates for electricity in California have gone up by 60%. That's crazy. And in Texas, not too far behind, already a 29% rate hike just over the last 5 years. So what do you think the next 5 or 10, 15 years look like, right? This is going to get out of control. We also have realized in both states that our infrastructure, or at least the electrical grid that we know of it today, was not built for the demand that we all have of it today, right? More and more people are investing now in electric vehicles. We're converting appliances to electricity. All of our gadgets, our phones, our tablets, our computers, they're all run off electricity. And the grid as we know it was not nearly built for such demand. So what does that mean? Well, there's going to be a lot of electric companies, including the investor-owned utilities, that have to invest a lot of their own money to rebuild the infrastructure. And at the end of the day, who do you think is going to pay for that, right? There's also what we call wildfire concerns, not wildlife, where the utilities are now getting smarter to say, we need to bring these power lines and put them underground, which means that's a whole nother, retrofit where they've got to dig up the ground, trench our lines to prevent, high voltage lines from falling during high wind season. And that alone is going to come at a cost. And once again, at the end of the day, who do you think is going to pay for that? We are, the ratepayers. So going solar is a great way to save money on your electric bill. or you can produce your own energy by day and then maybe just be reliant for grid energy at night when rates are cheaper. Or if you invest in the entire clean energy solution with a whole home battery, I wouldn't call it going off the grid, but you can get pretty close where you can produce your own energy by day, put some of that extra power back in your battery, and then pull from that at night to avoid even more utility charges. I'm going to take a pause here with this screen on. I've got a great question in the chat. What is the average cost of a system and how much will it save over the next 25 years? That's a fair question. My short answer is the cost will vary, of course. Every home uses energy differently. Every home has a different type of roof or angle to the sun. So really depending on, a few of those factors, including the number of the panels that you need. But I would say safely, say in California, that average could be anywhere between $20,000 and $40,000 for a system. And this is before any applicable incentives, which I'll be going over. Or in the state of Texas, maybe about the same, maybe anywhere between $15,000 to $35,000 for an average solar electrical system. But again, those prices vary based on the energy needs of the home, the number of panels, and this ballpark pricing I'm providing is really just an estimate, and that's again before any local or federal incentives, which I'll be talking about. So great question, thanks for asking. Now, again, just to illustrate the importance of this when it comes to saving money. Right now, you are paying a ton of money to your electric company. I mean, whether it be $100 a month, $200 a month, or with most people we meet with, $400 to $500 a month. That's thousands of dollars a year that is going right out the window to the electric company. So the way we give homeowner options, whether you purchase it outright, finance it, or do a prepaid power purchase agreement, you're still going to pay just a little bit to the utility company, perhaps a little bit to your solar investment, and then a lot of it in your pocket. So if you measure this over the 25-year period, and I guess this was part of that question too, a typical homeowner in California or Texas over a 25-year period should be able to save at least $50,000 to $60,000 over the course of 25 years. That right there could pay for college or a number of other things. And the larger the bill, the larger the savings as time goes on. I've had the opportunity to meet with homeowners to show them a savings plan that would save them net over $100,000 over the next 25 years. So again, it all varies based on the amount of electricity you need, how many panels, et cetera, et cetera. But great question, and I hope this is landing with you on the call. Hey, quick check-in if you're just joining today. My name's Jensen Chapman, Sales Director for Axia by Qcells. We're having a wonderful live stream today, and our topic is making sense of solar. But if you're here for the first time or perhaps just got invited, we would love a chance to meet with you. We've got a few options on the screen for you to contact us. I think most importantly, if you're joining YouTube Live, you can drop a question in the chat. I'd be happy to answer that live. Or you can just jump right over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. There you can click on a number of orange buttons that we've set up for you, whether you want to get started, get an estimate, talk with a solar expert. We even put a handy calendar link just below where you can streamline this whole process and select your own date and time for the appointment. But either way, we're glad you're here. So if you've got a question, drop it in the chat on YouTube or jump over to Axia Solar USA and we'll be happy to help. All right. Next topic, the federal and state incentives. There's been a lot of this talked about on the news lately, and in fact, it's been a big driver for the industry over the last, now 12 or 13 years, at least since I've been involved. There are subsidies. Our federal government is, incentivizing homeowners to invest in clean energy for so many reasons. Climate change, combat, our infrastructure is kind of weak. There's a number of great reasons that the government is incentivizing us to do this so that we have a greener or better tomorrow or for the preservation of future generations. So let's get into that. For starters, let me just legally disclose I am not a tax professional, nor am I giving anyone on this call tax advice. But if you're a homeowner and you pay federal income if you're a homeowner and you pay federal income tax, chances are you qualify for this 30% investment tax credit. Yeah. So think of it like a coupon that you're getting from the government. I mean, you could almost cut it if you wanted. This 30% coupon, if you will, or investment tax credit, is an actual dollar for dollar credit against your federal income tax liability. This isn't a rebate, it's actually better than that. So we all, or if you pay federal income tax, you probably pay a lot each year, or perhaps you have withholdings each month, and then at the end of the year, come tax season, you have to reconcile with Uncle Sam. Well, if you invested in solar, 30% of that investment cost is yours to claim as a dollar for dollar credit against your federal income tax liability. So I always like to remind homeowners, think of it as money you get to keep instead of having to pay out in federal income tax. Yeah? And that really helps the ROI, or the payback period, this huge subsidy from the federal government. And just recently, or per the Inflation Recovery Act, they actually extended this investment tax credit for 10 years. So now giving us another runway to offer these solutions to homeowners and save the most amount of money. There's also some local incentives that we may want to inquire about depending on where you're inquiring from. In the state of California, we have something called the Self-Generation Incentive Program, or SGIP. This is for homeowners that invest in batteries for their home. There is some rebate money set aside for that. And this again is to kind of help the grid to be more resilient against peak demand and the fact that the infrastructure is quite stressed. So the more and more homeowners invest in batteries, the more rebates are then pulled down. So there's another incentive to do that. There's another local incentive in California called the Solar Renewable Energy Certificates, where you can actually get credit on your bill or different ways that you can be compensated from your electric company by selling some of your extra power that your solar panels produce back to the grid. Because essentially the electric company could use your clean energy, and instead of generating it somewhere else and delivering it down these lines, they can distribute that to your nearest neighbor and really help the cause. There is also something called virtual power plants, which is really exciting. Now, as more and more homeowners in California and Texas are adopting solar and energy storage solutions for their home, what we're essentially creating is a future of microgrid communities. Yeah, think of that. I can imagine a day, and I can't say too long from now, maybe 10, 15, say 20 years at the most, where we don't need the electric companies anymore. If everybody's got solar and everybody's got batteries, then we can all produce our own energy by day, store up that extra energy for nighttime use, and then distribute it among our communities like a virtual power plant. Think about that. If we're living in a microgrid community, we don't need electrical lines feeding us electricity that's dirty, inefficient, and expensive. We can rely on each other. So perhaps the Joneses have a little extra power spared in their energy bank. Well, they could share that with the Smiths, who needed a little extra power to do their laundry late at night. And it's just a grid sharing or a microgrid community. There's incentives for this. Our energy consultants can discuss that with you, and that's more for virtual power plant opportunities, where some of that energy you have stored up in your bank can be redistributed and sold to your neighbors, which is pretty cool, and you'll get credits for it. Now, in the Lone Star state of Texas, it's a deregulated state when it comes to energy for the most part. But there are some or electric companies out there that participate in a very attractive buyback program. We have all the knowledge of that, so if you're looking to learn more, please inquire with us so we can share what's available to you. But to keep it simple, if you're a homeowner in Texas and you invest in solar and energy storage and you have extra power that goes back to the grid, a lot of these electric companies will participate in a one-for-one buyback program, which not only helps you save more money, but helps speed up the return on investment, or the payback period. And it's helping everyone out, especially with the stressed grid in the state of Texas, because we all learned in recent years what's happened there, especially during the winter months when the power went out, and even in the summer months of recently, we saw record heat waves in the state of Texas. Air conditionings were going on more than ever, and the grid was quite strained. And in fact, there was one point this summer where they wouldn't even allow certain Texans to use their air conditioning just to help out the grid distribution. So again, all more important points or reasons to invest in solar and energy storage for your home, because you can't predict the future and you have no control if the power company decides to shut you off. So all these are great incentives to help the payback period and help more people save money. Let me go ahead and jump to a couple questions here, and then we'll get back to the presentation. Another great chat. I don't have taxable income. What should I do? Hey, we thought of that. That's a great question. This is actually, if you've got money set aside for an investment like this, and you may not have the tax appetite, as we say, this is exactly why we designed our prepaid power purchase agreement. We're going to go ahead and assume that tax credit right off the top, because we would qualify for that. But as our partner for 25 years, we'll assume that in the upfront cost. So you're getting the same benefits as far as that subsidy goes, but with an extended service agreement that includes production guarantee, inverter, and battery replacement. So that's a great question. Thanks for dropping that in. And anyone else on the call today, feel free to chime in and drop your questions in there. All right, let's go back to the show. Hey, if anyone's on the live call, and whether you have a question or not, I'd love to get just a little feedback about how the sound and quality is coming through. I want to make sure that I'm, staring at a camera, not staring at you, that I'm coming through okay, and this has been a good experience. So if you would please, that'd be great. All right, to sum up some of the federal and state incentives, Texas and California really have a lot similar incentives. There is a program here in California called Net Energy Metering, or NEM for short, that has recently changed, but it still gives homeowners the ability to sell some of their extra power back and get credits for it. That helps the ROI and the payback period. I have covered, of course, the self-generation incentive program, the local solar rebate and incentives. That varies territory by territory. And then, of course, the buyback plan. One question I've seen come up, and not say today, but is this going to increase my property taxes if I invest in solar for the home? The answer is no, absolutely not. Your home doesn't go or have a higher property tax bill because you increase the value of it. Isn't that crazy? And the reason for that is it doesn't necessarily increase the appraisal value of your home, hence doesn't affect your property tax, but it certainly makes your home more attractive. And in fact, homes with solar have been proven to sell faster and for more money than, say, homes without. And it had nothing to do with the appraisal value. It was more the demand for that home or a bidding war. And in fact, on average, homes with solar were selling for about 4% more than their asking price, which is pretty significant when you do the math there. I've got another question in the chat. I'm seeing ads saying that solar and batteries are only $100 a month. Every quote I have received is higher. I don't believe that I can get solar for that cheap. Well, fair question. I can't speak from what other companies offer, but this is available to you. We certainly have something like that. I think maybe where the confusion is that perhaps that offer, or if you're only looking to spend $100 a month, or in our special case, $60 a month for solar, it may not cover all of your electricity needs, but it could offset quite a bit, right? Think of it this way. A lot of people aren't ready to invest in a fully electric vehicle, but rather drive a hybrid. And why is that? Well, because they're going to save money at the gas pump, because it's a hybrid electric and gas-powered vehicle. I actually had the pleasure of driving one for a couple of years, and I learned something really quick, that even if I plugged that thing in at night and went to take off the next day, I was only getting about 25 miles on electricity, and the rest would then kicked into gas. But it's a hybrid model, which actually gave me a MPG of somewhere around 52 to 54 miles per gallon. I wasn't covering all of my fuel with electricity. A lot of it was gas, but as a hybrid model, I was still saving money at the gas pump, filling up less and less. And maybe that helps to answer your question. Why is it advertised as $100 a month, but every quote I get is more? Well, perhaps your energy consultant isn't showing you where you can start with a solar investment, but really jumping ahead to try to build a system that covers 100% of your needs. We've thought of this too, so it's an excellent question, and I'm honored to talk about this, because that's actually part of our sales strategy as well here at Axia. We want homeowners to know that you don't have to go all in. This is actually more affordable than you think. So if you're just looking to get a little bit of solar to feel good about clean energy, there is nothing wrong with that. Just be prepared that you're still going to have to pay the electric company the rest of your energy needs, but you can feel good and offset quite a bit of solar with, say, like a 4 kilowatt system. So I hope that helps. All right. So we got over the incentives, and I hope we're clear there. Hey, if you're just joining right now on our live stream, thank you for being here. My name is Jensen Chapman, Sales Director here at Axia by Qcells. And the purpose of this live stream is to meet with homeowners when, where, and how they want. And really, we offer a better way to go solar through our direct-to-consumer platform. There's a number of ways you can get more information if you're just joining today. If you're on YouTube Live, you can drop a question in the chat. I'd be happy to answer that, or maybe just watch a few questions get answered. Or you can move over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. There we have a few orange buttons you can click on, whether it be Get Started, Request a Quote. You can talk with a solar expert. We even have a handy calendar link just below, where if you want to streamline the process, you can select your own date and time to schedule that appointment. But either way, we're here to help. We have a nice solar calculator on our website if you want to get some immediate real-time pricing. But we'd certainly like the opportunity to meet with you and learn more about your energy needs of today and tomorrow so that we can design a custom energy solution for your home that can not only save you tens of thousands of dollars over the next 2 or 3 decades, but also, help do your part for our environment or a cleaner tomorrow. So again, thanks for being here. All right. Last topic before I round robin again, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the Axia by Qcells advantage, really more of our products and services. So we'll jump to that. Okay, so for starters, Qcells is the #1 selling solar panel in the United States of America. Yeah, #1, and by far, with over 35% market share. You can be rest assured that in your own neighborhood, if you've noticed solar panels on the roof, chances are that more than 1 out of 3 of those homes is Qcells solar panels. And you can recognize, though, they're usually a sleek, all black looking solar panel. And we take a lot of pride in that because more Americans have chosen Qcells for their energy solutions because of the performance, the efficiency, the reliability, the industry-leading warranty, the fact that everything is assembled here in the United States, and really we've made quite a name for ourselves and bigger to be the complete energy provider here in the United States. Everything from the panels to inverters that goes on your roof will be made by us, sold by us, and essentially installed by us. So really part of our value proposition that you're just dealing with one company as opposed to being passed around for many other. That's really the Axia advantage. All right. Hey, quick reminder that I know it's getting close to the end of the month, or as I like to call September to remember, but September is National Preparedness Month. So just since we're on the topic of energy conservation and being prepared for certain situations, I think it's important to remind people that we need to be prepared for, the unknown. We've seen a lot of unprecedented things happen in just the recent 5 years, from a global pandemic, wildfires in California, grid outages in Texas, hurricanes on the East Coast. I mean, what's next, right? So it's important that you and your family are prepared for such disasters or events. And I would encourage anyone on this live stream to make sure they've got a good supply of bottled water, canned food, batteries, flashlights, things for when the power goes out. Or if you're really looking to get ahead of the curve, come on down to Axia by Qcells and we can provide the full energy solution that can provide you more energy independence, more resilience from blackouts or other, and really, keep you living a pretty comfortable life without the worry of what the electric company is up to. So friendly reminder there. Okay. Quickly to advertise next week's live stream, if you'd like to learn more, we'll be coming at you on Thursday, October 5th at 2 p.m. Pacific. And that's going to be more talking about the small construction project, which is the solar installation journey. I think that's important to homeowners to learn more about how the project unfolds, what exactly do we do on the roof when it comes to installing solar panels or other, so you can check in for that. So let's circle back to the beginning and welcome you all to the live stream. Again, my name is Jensen with Axia by Qcells. We're here discussing making sense of solar and a little bit about the financial incentives and ROI. It's about 2:47 right now. I'll keep this meeting going for another 10 or 15 minutes. But if you're here for the first time or perhaps been here before, thank you for visiting. We're so glad you're here. And if you're looking to inquire about information for your home, we've got a number of ways you can do that. Whether you can, if you're on YouTube Live, you can drop a question in the chat below. I'd be happy to answer that live. Or you can jump over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. We've got a few options for homeowners to click on, whether you want to request a quote, get started, or even talk with a solar expert. We're here to meet with homeowners when, where, and how they want to, and we're just glad you're here. All right, so we're going to do a recap of Axia. Who is that? What is Axia? Well, Axia is the direct selling arm for Qcells, the manufacturer. And the word itself, Axia, actually the Greek meaning is value, price, or worth. And this was a well thought out name because we built this company or this platform around the customer experience. You see, Qcells now has over 20 years of experience in the residential solar industry. So what they realized about a year ago is, why don't we go direct to consumer? We've experienced just about everything out there. We know what our customers want. We know what questions they're going to have. So we really thought about everything from the customer's point of view, and then from there just worked backwards. So what differentiates or separates us from, I guess, the rest in the industry is that all the equipment, all the sales, all the financing, everything involved around this small construction project is all by one company, and that's Axia by Qcells. So if you've inquired about solar or were confused, maybe didn't have a good feeling from the rep or something that you learned or heard out there, please come and check us out. At least talk with us. We'll be straight up with you. We'll tell you what's available to you and make sure that you understand you would only have one company to deal with as opposed to what else is out there. We're actually a direct, again, let me just mention that we are the direct-to-consumer model for Qcells, the manufacturer, in which you may have heard about recently when we made news. Qcells recently invested $2.5 billion in building a complete solar manufacturing plant just outside of Atlanta in Dalton, Georgia, which will be the largest solar manufacturing plant here in the United States, and which is great for our environment and most importantly job creation here in the United States. So we take a lot of pride in that. Currently all of our assembly is here in the United States, but working to build one of the largest and most sustainable solar manufacturing plants here in our country. We're going to talk next about the return on investment and payback period. So if you just joined, thanks for being here. Today's topic is again making sense of solar and calculating the ROI and payback. Now, for starters, we all get an electric bill every month, and no matter how you slice it, you've got to pay it or no power, right? What's a shame is the fact that the cost goes up year after year after year. So where you may have a $100 or $200 a month electric bill today, well, what do you think that's going to look like in the next 5, 10, or 20, 30 years, right? Imagine what we were paying for gasoline just 10 or 20 years ago per gallon, and now look what we pay. So the best way to save money is investing in solar for your home, and we've got a few financial ways for you to do that. The first option, which always has been the first option, is a straight out cash purchase. If you've got money set aside for an investment like this, you can put your money where your roof is, as I like to say, and actually calculate how much money you're going to save each year on energy cost otherwise until you've actually paid yourself back, or the payback period, or calculated as the actual return on investment or ROI. But after you've hit the ROI or you've recovered all your investment, well then it's like generating dollar bills from sunlight every single year, and it also adds value to your home, making it more attractive to any new buyer, and you can feel really good about producing clean energy on your roof. Another great way to go solar is a solar loan program. We give our customers the ability to redirect money that they're already spending each month on electricity, but now towards their own fixed cost solar investment. And the best part about this program, again, it's zero down. The monthly rate or investment would compete with your electric bill, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes the same, sometimes a little bit less. But all in all, a fixed cost investment which is not only going to hedge against the future cost of electricity, but also build equity with every monthly investment you make. Now, the solar loan comes with a number of options. There's no prepayment penalty, so if you ever wanted to pay it off early, you can do that at any time. It's transferable to any new buyer, so they can pick up right where you left off, or just you can build it whatever you owe into the sale price of the home, since there's no prepayment penalty. There are multiple financing terms, anywhere from 10, 20, even 30 years, depending on what works best for your budget. But either way, we offer a number of those options for our customers, and most would, to simply redirect money, but now towards their own fixed cost solar investment. We here at Axia by Qcells have a special offer for homeowners that qualify, as you can go solar for as little as $60 per month. Yeah, that's like $2 a day. Certainly less than what we pay at Starbucks each day, or whatever your cup of tea is. And now that $60 a month may not cover all of your electric bill, but maybe you're just looking to add solar to your home to feel good about clean energy. And I think we all could agree that we can afford $2 a day. This is a credit qualified program, of course, but if you're looking to go solar and just really want to keep your costs down, you can do this for as little as $60 a month. Another great financial product that we offer, which is exclusive here at Axia by Qcells, is our own power purchase agreement. Now, this would be a prepaid agreement, which is pretty cool. It models the cash purchase, where essentially you're making an upfront payment and then calculating how many years it takes to pay yourself back. But here's what comes extra with the PPA. By letting us move in as your power provider, we're not only going to install the equipment, the top-notch equipment to today's standards, but we're also going to not only warrant that equipment, but offer you an extended 25-year service agreement. Yeah. So think about that. If you were to purchase a system outright, you're going to get great warranties the same. 25 years for the panels, 10-year for a battery or inverter. But what happens in year 15 or year 20? Well, you may have to face inverter replacement cost or battery replacement cost. With our prepaid power purchase agreement, we give our customers peace of mind that even over this 25-year service agreement, not only are we going to guarantee the production of the system, but we're also going to replace that equipment if it fails over that 25-year period. So the extra value add there is that the inverter will be replaced and the battery will be replaced at no cost to our customer. And this really helps those that want to do the right thing, want to invest in solar, don't necessarily want to borrow to do it, but also don't necessarily have a tax appetite. Well, with our prepaid power purchase agreement, we've already assumed the tax incentive up top. So you're basically buying this for about 70% of what the market price would be, and then with this great 25-year service agreement. And all in all, these come with some of the great advantages, the same warranties as I've shared earlier, whether it be loan, cash, a prepaid power purchase agreement, soon to come a monthly power purchase agreement. But either way, you're going to have full maintenance, you're going to have a warranty associated, but the specialty to the prepaid agreement is the fact that you'll have some equipment replaced at no cost down the road. I think another important factor to remind homeowners when investing in solar and energy storage for the home is the environmental impact that just one home makes. Now again, this may not be important to you, but I think it is important to most, is that we need to be more responsible than ever these days if we're really concerned about preserving, the future for future generations. So I've put on the screen today an example of one home's carbon offset, if you will, or one home's responsible choice. This one home measured over the next 20 or 30 years, that's the equivalent of planting 1,489 trees. That's like not burning 135 barrels of oil, or like 48 acres of forest trees. Pretty special. You see, electricity as we know it is a secondary energy source. In traditional cases, we have to burn coal, oil, and natural gas to produce electricity, which happens to emit CO2 into the atmosphere. That also happens to be one of the leading causes of land, air, and water pollution. Why solar is clean energy is there's no harmful byproducts when you're converting sunlight to usable electricity. So that's why solar is cleaner. That's what the big craze is, and that's the environmental impact, which I think should also be considered. Because whether you're looking at this from a financial standpoint or an environmental conscious standpoint, you can measure the cost of going solar today. You can't measure the cost of doing nothing. All right, I'm going to wrap this up here in the next few minutes. If you're joining just now, thanks for being here. My name is Jensen Chapman, Sales Director here at Axia by Qcells. And every week we're doing live streams just to get the word out, inform, and inspire homeowners to make the switch to clean energy. So if you're inquiring about solar or energy storage for your home, we're so glad you're here. We've got a number of ways that you can get in contact or get some information from us. If you're joining on YouTube Live, you can drop a question in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer that live. Or I would encourage anyone, especially at this point, jump on over to AxiaSolarUSA.com. This live stream is still going. You can click on a few different orange buttons, whether you want to get started, get an estimate. So I will go ahead and pause there and see if there's any last minute questions that can come in. And we'll wrap from here, and I'll see you all followers again next week. Well, okay then. Well, again, thanks for being here. Look forward. You can tune in next Thursday. I guess that would be October 4th at 2 p.m. And we'll look forward to talking more about the installation of the solar journey so homeowners can get more information of what to expect. And the only thing I ask is that you tell a friend about